Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Let's take a look at the headlines. Flipdeco acquires world-class mobile harbour crane to boost port productivity. International credit rating agencies give Trinidad and Tobago positive ratings. And Tobago to benefit from a new meteorological office. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Top of the news. At the end of 2013, international rating agencies Standard & Poor's and Moody's ratings listed Trinidad and Tobago's economy as stable. The report was published on December 24th. This was revealed by the Honorable Larry Hawaii, Minister of Finance and the Economy.
Standard & Poor's has affirmed Trinidad and Tobago's A long-term and A1 short-term sovereign credit ratings. It has done so on the basis that Trinidad and Tobago continues to be characterized by strong external reserves, approximately 12 months of import cover, and sustainable debt levels. This is also buttressed by the strong reserves held in our Heritage and Stabilization Fund, which has crossed the $5 billion mark.
Minister Hawaii explained the S&P and Moody's stable ratings were due to this country having strong external reserves and sustainable and low debt levels, adding that this would give the country time to address concentrated risk in the economy.
It is also characterized by the fact that we have relatively sustainable and low debt levels, particularly that the foreign currency component of our debt continues to be relatively low at less than 10% of total debt. This gives the country the time and the opportunity to address the concentration risk in the economy, which arises from the fact that we are a heavily oil and gas economy. Energy revenues contributes approximately 45% of gross domestic product.
Minister Hawaii said as a result of this rating, the issue of sustainability of the economy continues to be a challenge and needs to be managed. He, however, noted that the rating has also shown that Trinidad and Tobago's economy remains strong and is stable.
Given the structure of our revenues, given the structure of our expenses, given what is happening in our energy sector, and given the rate of growth that we project for our diversification initiatives, we see the economy as being relatively strong and sustainable, and this has been supported by Standard & Poor's.
Felicia Wilson-Mon, News 4.
In other news, the Point Lisas Industrial Port Development Corporation Limited, Flipdeco, commissioned its new gut-walled mobile harbour crane on Wednesday. Transport Minister Stephen Cadiz, at the launch of the world-class equipment, says the new crane will not only boost the time taken to move goods from one vessel to shore, but also boost the economy in the long term.
Standing at over 39 meters, the new gut-walled mobile harbour crane is capable of lifting over 125 metric tons of weight from incoming vessels bringing imported goods into the country. Installed at the port of Point Lisas, the new crane is all part of the ongoing project to replace all the equipment and become a modernized port comparable to any major docking and offloading facility in the world. While the addition of this crane will bring the number up to 5 operational cranes at the port of Point Lisas, Transport Minister Stephen Cadiz says it's more than physical infrastructure that makes a port successful, but the revolution of the entire system that makes it efficient and poised to be a valuable player in the maritime shipping sector.
Trinidad and Tobago, again, is very much poised to be able to take advantage of a lot of these moves, of the amount of traffic that we will have in the area. But of course, in the Ministry of Transport, what we look at is not only the physical infrastructure of how many cranes we have, how many acres of yard we have to put containers and what have you, but there's a whole other part of the maritime business that we have to get right. For instance, we operate in a very, very old archaic shipping act. And that old shipping act prevents modern maritime processes and services to be carried out. And therefore that is something that has to happen. What is our maritime policy? What is the long-term projection for the maritime business for Trinidad and Tobago? And again, that is something that we're going to be going to Cabinet very, very soon with a maritime policy that has not been developed by the Ministry of Transport, but by the stakeholders, the people who are involved in the maritime services in Trinidad and Tobago. Whether you're an importer or an exporter, whether you run a port, whether it's the ship pilots, regardless of who it is, we will be developing that. That policy is going to be developed in conjunction with all these stakeholders.
The improvement to the port facility not only adds to the maritime industry, but positions the local economy to heightened growth in GDP and employment. Underscoring the impact this will make on the local business sector is Trade, Industry and Investment Minister Vasan Bharat. Speaking during the commissioning of the new crane, Minister Bharat says this will be working in tandem with the Maritime Services Unit.
Efficient and cost-effective transportation systems are actually crucial and key to the global supply chains, and in fact it keeps the engine of growth in each economy and each country ticking over as far as development and economic prosperity is concerned. With 80% of global merchandise by volume carried by sea and handled by ports worldwide, the definite economic importance of the maritime sector and maritime transport as a trade enabler cannot be overemphasized.
This country can boast of its position away from the hurricane belt and the supply of energy to incoming vessels. While this comes on the heels of the opening up of the Panama Canal and relations between TNT and the transshipment zone, Minister Bharat says this can only spell to an increase in trading opportunities, even as this country looks to diversify the economy away from the oil and gas sector.
We anticipate increased transshipment activity from shipping lines servicing the southern USA, east coast of the USA, Brazil, Guyana and the eastern Caribbean as a result of the opening up of this canal. Foreign trade has played a significant and extraordinary role as far as the development strategies in Latin America and the Caribbean economies are concerned. And its expansion and growth is the engine of all economic growth. This, of course, is expected to continue. And what is more, our renewed export structure in Trinidad and Tobago is being geared towards specifically manufactured goods with high value added.
PLIBDECO Chairman Ian Atherley expressed his confidence in the port's new capability in expanding its business through these changes.
The corporation is actually well poised to capitalize on the rapidly evolving trends in the maritime industry. Much of these changes have been brought about by a number of factors, the key ones being the impending Panama Canal expansion, increasing vessel sizes, changing global consumption, trade, and manufacturing patterns.
This new crane boasts of having full remote control capability and fully equipped with all safety devices. Kimram Kalawan, News 4.
When we return, San Fernando launches Carnival 2014. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Taking very serious its mandate to ensure an environment where each culture can flourish in a spirit of understanding, tolerance and harmony, the Ministry of Arts and Multiculturalism unveiled its new logo. Speaking at the launch, Dr. the Honorable Lincoln Douglas, Minister of Arts and Multiculturalism, says the new logo is a representation of all cultures in Trinidad and Tobago.
We have been re-strategizing because our desire to further fulfill our mandate and create the enabling environment that allows not only the artists to flourish, but all of us as Trinbagonians an opportunity to fully express ourselves. To this end, therefore, we have even rebranded our organization, and we will now unveil to you our new logo. Ladies and gentlemen, all these represents the intertwining colors of our nation. With our brand new logo, Ministry of the Arts and Multiculturalism.
As he presented the new logo, Minister Douglas noted that his ministry has been very productive since its creation, but especially between 2012 and 2013, where much effort has gone into developing and redeveloping cultural programs. Dr. Douglas listed the cultural camps being hosted through his ministry, the Music in Schools program, and the National Registry of Artists and Cultural Workers, launched in 2011, being actively developed. Of the National Registry, the minister reminded artists by supporting this, they will be given tax breaks.
The National Registry of Artists and Cultural Workers is an opportunity open to nationals of Trinidad and Tobago to support and advance the cultural sector. Now, this program is very important and it has some significant aims. First of all, it facilitates access to tax breaks and tax incentives for those who support the arts. Secondly, it puts you as an artist on a database so that you can have access to resources and other type of artistic support. It helps Trinidad and Tobago artists. It gives them access to all the various cultural arrangements we have with other markets around the world, the Caribbean single market and economy and other European markets.
However, tax break was not the only incentive Minister Douglas shared.
The cultural industry team has also worked to create new incentives to participate in the registry, such as our arrangement with Trinidad Tunes, which provides added benefits for registered applicants in the music industry. Now, we're getting the registry out into the public domain with another project, our contract with KMP Music Lab. You like this one? In the support of their project called Building the Beats. Now, this project aims to do what? Improve the quality of music production in Trinidad and Tobago in an innovative twist. We are using a reality television series to do so. And soon you will see this series on TV.
At the launch of the logo, the minister also launched another project called the Time Project, the Trinbago Interactive Music Expo, which will take place between February 27th to March 2nd, 2014. Time is a series of showcases, seminars and speed dating sessions designed to provide opportunities for musicians and cultural performers. According to the minister, this initiative is to make local artists more aware of what is required for the international music industry. Minister Douglas stated that international label representatives will be present at the seminars. Felicia Wilson, Mon News 4.
The city of San Fernando launched its Carnival 2014 earlier this week. This year's mass is expected to witness the participation of over 13 bands in the parade of bands and events such as Kaiso Showcase and Calypso Fiesta.
Carnival is alive in the city of San Fernando. Culture is alive in the city of San Fernando. And no doubt this year's theme for the city's mass, the Rhythm of San Fernando, echoes this in an event-packed season. Launching the start of this year's schedule, the San Fernando City Corporation unveiled a season that promises to be a memorable one. City Mayor Kazim Hussein says the corporation has collaborated with many stakeholders in making this year's carnival happen.
We have addressed all the issues pertaining to this year's carnival, and in this regard, I have no doubt the Rhythm of Sando will be a tremendous success. On my walks throughout the city, and my meetings, I am constantly encouraged by the support given by everyone. The people of San Fernando are all looking forward to great things from our team, and I want to assure them that they will not be disappointed.
San Fernando is not only known for keeping mass within the Southland and its wider community, but for playing host to several big-ticket events during the carnival season, such as Calypso Fiesta and part of the Panorama Finals at Skinner's Park. Tuco member and South favorite Ras Commander underscored the importance Calypso holds to our society in the way our culture tells stories.
My organization, Tuco, will be celebrating Carnival 2014 under the theme 100 years since the first vocal recording of Calypso from the artist Julian Whiterose to now. We wish to partner with everyone here this evening by inviting you all to attend as much as of our 2014 Carnival events as you possibly can, and I speak on behalf of Tuku. And show your solidarity to Tuku as we seek to become as self-sufficient as we possibly can by purchasing as many front row seats at all our Calypso tents and Calypso competitions.
But it was MP for San Fernando West, Carolyn Sipasad Bachan, who called for the return of the glory days of mass in the city. She recalled the years when road march tunes emerged from the southern city.
Call the names, whether they are Copeland, Calichuran, Hatters and Cavaliers. This is the rhythm of Sando Town. Calypso Rose recognized the difference between our carnival and everyone else. She sang, "A going down San Fernando, down they have plenty tempo." You remember that? I was a girl, a child, listening to that on Coffee Street. That is what we have, and that is also what our great maestro, Road March champion, the magnificent maestro who died in his prime. Tempo. Latido, you remember that? Latido. People want more tempo. When they are playing mass, long before Calypso rose, the Roaring Lion sang, San Fernando was class. Class. That is how one of the legends of Calypso described our rhythm, our tempo, our spirit of carnival.
Minister of Arts and Multiculturalism Dr. Lincoln Douglas says during the season he intends to visit, accompanied with an entourage, viewing the details of mass in every community as they look to take back some of our carnival celebrations to their countries abroad.
There are over 300, the last count we had, Trinidad-style carnivals all over the world. And we are immediately seeking ways to help our industry here to capitalize on those kinds of things. People are coming here every day. In the last few years alone, there are 4 carnivals started in Nigeria alone. This year, we will have people from Nigeria, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin State, and Ghana here to explore, to understand what we are doing and how we are doing this and how we could do that there.
Events are expected to kick off on February 7th with the Junior Calypso prelims, while this year's schedule will see the reenactment of Carnival riots on Coffee Street on Thursday, February 27th. Kimram Calawan, News 4.
Sport is on the other side of the break. Stay with us. And to some sport news now. Action in the All Sectors Netball League continued on Thursday with a marquee double-header at the Eastern Regional Indoor Arena in Tacarigua. Wayne Cunningham has the highlights from the championship and premier divisional matchups.
The Birds came out to take in the action when Fire Service met Jablotay in a championship division encounter in the All Sectors Netball League, with the team from San Juan needing a win to revamp their campaign, which shows 1 win in 3 matches. But they were off to a rocky start versus the Firewomen, as goal shoot Aquila Blow and goal attack Ayana Peters led them to a 22-11 lead by the halftime whistle. In the third quarter, the Fire defense got tighter, which made for even easier baskets for Blow and Peters as they led 36-16 going into the final period. Jablotay, on the other hand, were having problems under the net and employed 5 shooters in an effort to improve their fortunes. But only Latoya Thomas made any impact with 11 goals from 15 attempts. That performance came a bit too late as the Fire shooters continued to hit, with Blow scoring 28 of her 46 attempts and Peters 16 from 21 to lead Fire Service to a 44-22 victory over Jablotay. Game 2 on the night was a premiership match, but also ended in a blowout as Huey were no match for Police. By the halftime interval, the match was over as a contest as Police led 28. In the third quarter, this goal by Tanisha Rockyaw was the only one for Huey as the Police defense locked down the goal area. Rockyaw ended with 7 from 12 attempts to be the high scorer for her team. This temporary power outage was not enough to save the University Lasses, because Janice McIntosh and Joelisa Cooper were electrifying when the current came back. National player Cooper was a hot hand at the goal attack for Police as she ended with a top score of 35 goals from 38 attempts. She was well supported by McIntosh with 22 from 37. Police romping home to an impressive 57-12 win over UE in the Premiership Division of the All Sectors Netball League to leave them second on the points table behind Game Changers. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
And just some corrections there. That league continued on Tuesday. Sorry, not Thursday. We're talking Tobago when we come back after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The construction of the new meteorological office at the A.N.R. Robinson International Airport is expected to commence in mid-February from a duration of 15 months. This according to NIPDEC's chairman Hamlin Jailal at a media conference hosted by the Minister of Tobago Development, Dr. the Honorable Delman Baker.
Minister of Tobago Development, Dr. the Honorable Delman Baker, informed the media on Monday that the construction of the new Met Office is expected to commence in the middle of February. The minister said the project manager for the building is NIPDEC. He told the media that public tenders would have been sent out for building contractors interested in the project, and after the tenders were closed, a total of 8 tenders were submitted.
The contractor is expected to mobilize early in February. I am pushing to ensure that this occurs within the first 2 weeks, weather and all other matters permitting. The construction budget, inclusive of design, construction, and project management fees, is approximately $78.94 million, inclusive of VAT.
Minister Baker also noted that NIPDEC will ensure that local contractors will be subcontracted on the project. Meanwhile, NIPDEC's chairman assured members of the media that the project will be completed within time and budget.
I can assure the minister that NIPDEC will deliver. We will deliver on time and within budget.
3 consultants were responsible for fully designing the project.
And I will mention the names of the consultants: Renal Associates Limited, who was responsible for the architecture services, Planning Associates Limited for the engineering services, and EQS Limited for the quantity surveying.
Jailal said from the 8 tenders submitted, the bid prices ranged from $56.4 million to $78.4 million. And after careful evaluation by an evaluating committee set up by NIPDEC, Adams Project Management and Construction Limited was selected as the preferred contractor for the project at a price of $64,387,838.75, inclusive of VAT. Jailal boasted that the Trinidad company has done outstanding work both in Trinidad and Tobago, and he has no doubt that they will deliver on the construction of the Met building on time and within budget. Though it is not a requirement within the contract, Jailal said he hopes that good sense will prevail and the company responsible for construction will subcontract workers from Tobago as it is a Tobago project. The new Met Office is expected to be completed in May 2015. Reporting from Tobago, Patricia Nicholson, News 4.
And that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Thank you for watching.